I keep saying that we're treating this like a wrestler getting pushed up the cards, where each month you face a tougher opponent as you're moving up.
Uh-huh.
But one of the things I've neglected, John, was the televised squash match. And I think especially after beating Zellner in one hell of a close call last month, I think it's time we give you a big match on TV to really show what you can do. So when I think of those TV matches, I think of wrestlers, from the 80s. I think of wrestlers like Gino Carabello or Thunderfoot or Randy Barber. I think of unpolished, unskilled wrestlers. So I went out because a good friend of mine happens to be the most unpolished, unskilled, unprofessional professional wrestler I know. And he is your challenger this month.
Okay.
My name is Matt Sells, and I challenge Jon Boucher to a round of Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia.
Matt Sex Sells, independent wrestler extraordinaire, is your challenger this month. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm the Boozerweight, the rock and roll model, Matt Sex Sells, 22-year independent wrestling vet. You may have seen me job out on programs such as AEW Dark and Ring of Honor Wrestling. Wrestled in 20 states, 2 different countries, and you'll find me currently all throughout the Southeast, mainly Georgia, including promotions such as Action Wrestling, Classic City Wrestling, Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, so on and so forth. You can follow me on X at The Boozerweight.
And spell that, please.
That is TheBoozerweight.
All right, so that's a little bit about your opponent this month, Matt Sex Sells, a guy who, over the span of about a year and a half, didn't win a single match in about 5 different promotions, indie promotions here in Georgia. He had a losing streak that lasted a really, really long time. So I figured if we're going to give you a shine match, John, he's the perfect opponent. But that being said, how embarrassing would it be, John, if you lost to this unprofessional professional wrestler? The pressure's on now.
I have a lot of respect for his work.
Absolutely.
A lot of respect for his work. Just going to say that often. A lot of respect for this work.
All right, so
just going to leave it at that.
So John is feeling respectful, so I will ask you to please step into the isolation booth.
Yes, here I go.
And here are the rules for Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia. Both Matt and John will have 20 seconds to answer each question. I will ask Matt all 4 questions first while John is in the isolation chamber we built in his home. Matt can ask for a hint for one of the first 3 questions. You must ask for the hint at the time the question is asked. The 20-second clock will be stopped while the hint is given. And you cannot ask for a hint for the 4th question. However, if you do ask for a hint, John will automatically be given the same hint for the same question and be given a hint for the 4th question. The correct answer to each question is what's written on the actual game card. And as a little bit of information, the game was released in 1987. If both Matt and John answer the same number of questions correctly, there will be a bonus question for a tiebreaker. Matt, John is safely sequestered in the isolation chamber. Are you ready to play Gordon Solie's Championship Wrestling Trivia?
I am ready. Is this where going to be a cocky hill? Say I'm going to win it all.
Question number 1. Which wrestling legend credited with inventing the flying dropkick died on March 15th, 1977 in New York City?
Oh, God. Give me a hint.
Here is your hint. And as soon as I'm finished with the hint, the clock will resume. He was born in Italy, though his family moved to South America when he was 15.
Dominic DeNucci?
That is incorrect. Question number 2. Who was the first publisher to devote an entire magazine to wrestling?
Bill Apter?
That is incorrect.
I knew that was incorrect, but that was the only name I could think of.
question number 3. Matt, you better get question number 3 right. Who made up the original Hart Foundation?
Original Hart Foundation was Bret Hart and Jim the Evil Neidhart and Jimmy Hart.
That is correct. Matt, you are 1 for 3. The fourth and final question. This is a fill in the blank question. And while normally those are the names of wrestling moves, which would have meant you're shit out of luck because you don't know any.
Grab a hole.
This is a match stipulation. So question number 4, fill in the blank lumberjack match.
Blank lumberjack. Fan participation lumberjack match.
That is incorrect. Matt Sells, you've gotten 1 question right out of 4. Let's signal John to
batting 250.
congratulations, Booth, and see how he does. John.
Whew, okay.
Matt got 1 question right. He used a hint on question number 1. So you will get a hint not only for that question, but also question number 4. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, question number 1. And again, immediately after I ask the question, I will give you the hint.
Okay.
Which wrestling legend, credited with inventing the flying dropkick, died on March 15th, 1977 in New York City? Hint, he was born in Italy, though his family moved to South America when he was 15.
I would guess that to be 76 in New York City. Antonino Rocca?
That is correct. Got your first question right. You are now tied with Matt. If you get one of the next 3 questions right, John, you win.
Okay.
Question number 2. Who was the first publisher to devote an entire magazine to wrestling?
I will guess Stanley Weston.
Stanley Weston is correct.
Okay.
That being said, that's the answer on the card. I don't know whether it's right, but within a few years, he came out there. So, but that's what's on the card. So that is correct. You have won. You have won your enhancement match.
Well, as I have respect for my opponent, but utmost respect for my opponent as always.
Absolutely. So I think we should see if you can go 4 for 4 though.
Is that I don't want to showboat, but
but that's all. John, remember, I'm trying to push you. That's the whole point of these TV matches. You're supposed to not just eke out a win over him. You're supposed to destroy him.
Okay, okay. Let's go.
I need you to have a killer attitude if I'm going to give you a bigger match next month.
Slapping myself in the face. Okay.
All right. Question number 3. And before I ask it, I will say the same thing I said to Matt before I asked it. John, you better get this one right. Who made up the original Hart Foundation?
Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart?
That is correct.
Okay, I thought it was a trick.
3 for 3. No, and that's why I said you better get this right. That was my subtle way of telling both you and Matt that it's not a trick question.
Okay.
All right, 3 for 3 with 1 question to go. And remember, you're going to get a hint for this one. So question number 4, this is a fill in the blank, blank lumberjack match. And the hint, in the motion picture South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, the denizens of South Park blamed this group of people for the trouble their children had been getting into.
I believe it's going to be a Canadian lumberjack match.
John, you this is like the Road Warriors on TBS. You completely annihilated Matt Sex Sells, getting all 4 questions right, and Matt could only get 1 right. A huge victory, and the 4th in a row for Jon Boucher.
Well, I've been shooting rhesus monkey hormones into the vein in my forehead, so that probably helped.
Well, and clearly it's worth whatever's going to happen to you long term as a result of this. So congratulations to John. I also want to thank my friend Matt Sells. Not to pull the curtain too much on this, but I actually had 2 other challengers lined up, and both of them fell through for various reasons. And I got Matt to do this at pretty much the last minute, so he didn't even have a chance to study. So again, thank you to Matt for
Yes, thank you.
participating and doing his best. But a TV victory for Jon Boucher, who continues to move up the cards in Gordon Solie's championship wrestling trivia.